Hey everyone, Shane here. Today we're going to take a look at a new stove from Bushcraft Essentials. So take a seat and don't go anywhere. Nope, not this one. Nope, not the ultralight. No, not the Bush box. Well, hello there, ladies. Haven't either one of you? No? Well, it's definitely not the Bushbox XL. Well, you're different. Let me properly introduce you to the Bushcraft Essentials Bushbox LF. LF stands for large folding, and it's about a ½ inch thick when completely folded up. It is about a pound. It's 5½ inches by 3 inches. So where does this stove fit with the rest of the collection? Well, let me show you. Over here we have the EDC, the ultralight, the Bushbox, the Bushbox XL in titanium, and the Bushbox. So this LF, large folding, it finds its home right here, right between the Bushbox and the Bushbox XL. Some people feel that this stove is a little too small for their needs, and some people feel that this stove is a little too large for their needs. So honestly, this stove fits right in the sweet spot. Or some people are calling this the missing link. As I like to call it, this stove has the Goldilocks syndrome. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right. So enough about specs, enough about sizes. Let's put her to use. I put a lay of sticks down here to keep my stove from sinking down into the mud. As you can see, this stuff is very, very unforgiving. I don't want the legs to go down into the mud, because once I do that, I defeat the purpose of my updraft and of my catch pan here. One thing I really noticed that was really kind of pops out at me when I opened this up was the bushcraftessentials.com, made in Germany. It's not etched on there. It's actually laser cut through there. Very, very cool. It's gonna look really neat when it's burning. This isn't new to a lot of you out there, but whenever you're out here in the woods and you're looking to get some wood, try to find wood that's off the ground, because in this type of temperature, in this climate that I'm in right now, it's mud. Any dry laying wood is probably gonna be wet and full of moisture, and it's gonna be nothing but smoke in your stove. It's gonna be difficult to keep the fire going. Any of this dry standing wood is great. I'm gonna cut it. This is it's dead. Well, I guess I'm not gonna cut it. I've got a chunk of pine sap here. I'm going to put in my bundle and get going. With pine sap, it doesn't exactly ignite. You have to bring the heat to it, but once it does burn, it burns really, really well. So, ooh, and it is some sticky, good stuff. Just gonna put that down the bottom of my bundle there. Probably can't see, the stove's in the way. That's all right. Chunk of fat wood. Get some shavings off it. My baby sticks. Got my Helicontex mess kit out today. And what I'm going to be making, I'm going to make some dumplings. German style, in honor of the new stove. So. I'll be honest with you right now, even though the LF is a smaller stove, I really feel like I'm still cooking with the full-size XL. I haven't really even noticed a major cooking difference, to tell you the truth. I'm able to fill this sucker up, keep loading it up, and it's kicking butt so far. It really is. While my water's getting ready, I've got some flour here. I've got some cayenne pepper, some nutmeg. It's just I already pre-mixed it. A little bit of salt, baking powder, fresh ground black pepper. I'm gonna open her up. I'm not gonna whisk an egg out here, but I will mash the egg up on the inside of the bag. And I'm going to add some milk to it as well. Water's definitely boiling. So, I just made this out of a pie pan. Get a good look at it there. So I just made this out of a pie deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit on top here. Like that. Hope this works. Stove is doing magnificent, really. I had to pull my my spitzel maker here off, whoops, and clean it because it was getting plugged up. Now, I only made enough just for myself out here, so it's not a lot, but it's kind of messy, but it's fun. There we go. All right, so we'll let them boil for a few more minutes. We'll take a look at it. Okay, so I just pulled my spitzel off here. I've got a brat here, slowly cooking. Give it a little bit of warmth. I've got my bacon over here I just put in my pan. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my spitzel, which is right here, these are dumplings, and I'm going to use my little spatula here as a strainer. I'm gonna pull my dumplings out, I'm gonna put them with my bacon, and then I'm gonna brown them. Alright, so I let the fire go down when I was warming up the brats, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean this out. I added some more wood to it. I'm bringing the fire back up so I can get my bacon grease hot, and I'm going to lightly brown my spitzel. Alright, grease is nice and hot. Add my dumplings to it. Until they're a nice light brown. Stove's doing great. I'm gonna go ahead and just let it keep on burning out. Here is the food. Tell. Bring her up here for you. This is spitzel, dumplings, German dumplings, and a brat. So, let's enjoy it. And always, per tradition, it's the first bite roll. I'm gonna see if I can get some of this brat on here. Some of the dumplings, and a piece of the bacon. Cheers. My goodness. Oh, the dumplings are spicy. I added a little extra cayenne pepper to it. Boy, I'm glad I did. Let's talk a little bit about the stove. In a minute, I'm gonna enjoy this. This is way too freaking good. All right, so that was the Bushcraft Essentials LF, which means large folding. Stove's still a little warm right now. It's in the process of cooling down. But a couple things that I noticed right off the bat was it did not feel any different to me than the Bushbox XL as far as operation. Okay, as far as feeding it, as far as the amount of wood that I fed it, it really kept up really well. It is smaller than the Bushbox XL, so that's a really big point for a lot of folks out there, that they didn't want a stove as big as the Bushbox XL. But a lot of people didn't want to deal with a stove like the Bushbox that was, you know, 5 pieces, you put it together, then you have some trivet. So this is a compact folding stove. I really enjoyed it. I thank Detlef for sending it to me. He had sent out 20 stoves, and I feel really fortunate to do that. I thoroughly enjoy getting out and using stoves, as most of you guys know, and this was a good experience. This was a fun experience, and you know, if this is something that you guys really like or something that you're looking for, I'm gonna leave that for you guys. My honest opinion about it is I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun, workable stove. It kept up with the cooking that I was doing, and gave me absolutely zero problems. So, all right, everybody. Well, I'm going to wait for the stove to cool down a little bit more. I'm going to put those coals out,
And I'm gonna cover this area up like I was never here, and I'm gonna head out of here.
So as I'm putting the stove away, one thing that is different than the Bushbox XL with the LF, besides the size, on the XL there are spots on the side of the stove where you can put your trivets. Okay, there are not any spots on this stove to put the trivets. It's very streamlined on the back side. So I don't know if that's the reasoning for these holes here, so you could run something through there so you won't lose these trivets. Being in the woods, I like to be able to keep track of that stuff like that. So you can take the trivets and put them in between the stove, but that's, of course, it's getting dirty, but it's outdoor stuff. So that's one thing that I have noticed, that there is no place to put the trivets. Not a big deal at all. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for coming along with me today, taking a look at this Bushcraft Essentials Bushbox LF. I hope you really enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed the food. And you know what? We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.